Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your Raw review. So, guys, you turn on the video and you notice two things right away. The absence of the YWC Championship from my shoulder. And the rant robe has made a return. So you're having mixed emotions right now. You don't know what to feel. You're happy to see the rant robe. You're unhappy because you're not seeing the YWC Championship, which is synonymous with the Brad rules. And, so let me just explain why the belt's not there sitting atop my shoulder. So a lot of people you've seen in the comments, they knock the belt. They don't like the fact that I created a championship, touting my greatness among all the other goofballs in the YWC that are out to e-beg and, just please the smarks. I've never been about that, and it makes me happy when people say that I'm different than everybody else, and that's why they watch me. It makes me feel good. So, I figured, though, why not widen the audience? Why just because of a belt? Why, close in my audience? Why box myself in? Nowadays people are super sensitive. They get triggered over something like a belt. You've got a lot of people out there that get their feelings hurt easily. And it's all about unity, right? Here on YouTube, that's what it's supposed to be about. When we have a channel, we're supposed to be a family. We don't want to build walls. We want to open up the gates and just, let everybody flood in, right, to the channel. And, and that's what it's all about, right? It's all about having fun, Mago. So why do that? So I don't need to have a belt on my shoulder to be a YWC champion. So I'm going to have to indefinitely do away with the belt on my shoulder in all future videos because, it's all about pleasing everybody. I gotta understand as a content creator, I don't want to be like WWE having just a niche audience, right? I want to be global. I want to have everybody. And if a belt is messing that up for me, then, I'm just going to have to do away with it. So, you guys, you got the rant robe. So, what's that? What's that, guys? You say that you're unhappy about that you really want to see the YWC Championship. I understand, guys, but you gotta understand, I want to be universal. I want to be world-renowned, and if a belt on my shoulder is going to hurt that, then, well, I've got an alternate suggestion then. Boom! You really think that the belt as a whole was going away? You like how I did that belt on my shoulder? Yeah, it's on my waist now, bitches. So, by popular demand, I will be wearing the belt around my waist from now on. The YWC Championship is right at home on this gorgeous waist. If anything, it looks even better. Like my man Jinder Mahal wearing the belt around my waist. Shoulders are for commoners. It's all about the waist. It's all about the core over here, right? So there you go, guys. It's right at home. So fear not. The belt is alive and well. Had you guys fooled there for a minute, didn't I? Anyway, let's get to the review because we had the Superstar shakeup. A lot went on, not storyline-wise. You had people moving around to different shows, and it's interesting. People are talking about dream matches and stuff, and so let's start right from the top. We have Jinder Mahal arriving, cutting a promo on Kurt Angle. He interrupts him. Jinder Mahal, like what he did here. How he made himself seem more important than everybody else. He complained about having to come to Raw in an SUV as opposed to a motorcade, in a limousine. So, right away it kind of shows that he's like the Miz. He's above everybody else. But he has a match here with Jeff Hardy, and he loses the belt right off the bat. And as Wade Keller had said, this makes Jeff Hardy seem relevant, right? Because You know, he hasn't won a belt in a while. But the thing is, the guy's already won the world title twice. I think he's won one WWE championship, and then he won a world heavyweight championship. Whatever the case may be, he's been a world champion one way or the other multiple times. So it doesn't matter if he's won a belt just to win a belt. You know, this is Mahal's debut. He needs to win. He needs to make a statement here on Raw. And I understand they want to do the same thing for Jeff, but why do they have to hurt one just to elevate another? It's like they don't think about this kind of stuff just to give Jeff a belt. And it would be far more interesting, I think, if Jeff Hardy was in the world title picture. If anything, put him on Smackdown. You know, and do something with him. You know, what? Like, I don't get it. Like, why do we have, you know, Finn Balor as champion and Seth Rollins in the main events if we can't have Jeff Hardy there? So I'm not really understanding that a lot. You know, it's okay for these small guys to be main eventers, but Jeff Hardy still has to be a mid-carder, even though the guy is world-renowned, you know. In some cases, maybe a household name, way more over than some of these other schmucks. But what really bothered me here was just Jinder losing. It's like it brought back bad memories. They already screwed him on SmackDown due to the smarts. You know, they all complained, oh, I want AJ and Brock. I don't want Jinder and Brock. So what did they do? The WWE did something disgusting, and they listened to the smarts. They gave in to the smarts, and they gave them exactly what they wanted. They wanted that match, so they gave it to them, and they hurt Jinder, even though Jinder looked like he was more of a viable opponent for Brock Lesnar. I'm not going to go into all this. If you want to see those rants, go back to around Survivor Series where I bitched the hell about this shit. So you know, it's over, said and done with. Jinder's lost the belt and already. Backstage, we had No Way Jose coming out of nowhere. You know, this is clearly like, and it's funny because everybody already is saying it here on the internet. This is Adam Rose 2.0. I said it in my review last week. I said this, the moment that happened, I said, this is the same thing. Instead of having the Rosebuds, you've got a bunch of Mamalukes here. You know, and it's like, whatever it is, the train or whatever he's doing. No Way Jose is running a train. I don't know. Renee Young joins in on the festivities. You know, if I were Jinder, I would have loved to see Jinder just take this motherfucker by the back of his head and slam his head into something. I heard that this guy used to be Ricky Ortiz back in the old WWECW brand, and I'm like, he looks like totally different. He had like a different hair color, so was he dyeing his hair back then? If that's even correct. I mean, that was Ricky Ortiz. Ricky Ortiz looked like a goofball then too. And now he's doing this lame-ass gimmick. I mean, this gimmick can only go so far is the other thing. I mean, this guy is just marching around like a goofball with a bunch of other idiots, kind of randomly appearing. You know, and if it already failed with Adam Rose, why would they try it again with another guy? I mean, usually the original is superior, and it was. I mean, Adam Rose had a bit more mannerisms to him. He had a better attire going on. This is just lazy. It's like a copycat routine. Then Bayley and Sasha had a match, and the Riot Squad interfered. You know, so basically they had 1,000 matches against Absolution. Now they're gonna have 1,000 matches against the Riot Squad, which these girls are even worse and more amateurish than Absolution. So now we have to see shittier versions of matches we've already seen. We're going to see 1,000 more 6-man tags. We're going to see 24 different variations of these. We're going to see Sasha versus Sarah Logan. We're going to see Liv Morgan versus Sasha. We're going to see the same shit we did with Absolution. And, this team is even less over than Absolution. So we have that to look forward to. What a great thing, right? We already can predict exactly what's going to happen. The Authors of Pain defeated Rhino and Slater. I get it. The rumor is Paul Ellering didn't want to go on the road to do a full-time schedule with WWE. Okay, the thing is, then they shouldn't have even brought out Ellering last week because, first of all, if you don't watch NXT, you're not going to know who these guys are. And second thing is, why even bring out Ellering just to fucking push him away? Is anybody going to care if you've never seen this team before and you don't know the relationship they had with Paul Ellering? Why the hell would you even introduce him in the first place? How stupid does it look? They get rid of him after the first match, especially after they win. I understand that if they lost or something, they're trying to show that they don't need him. I just thought it was a silly move. The very first match, and they shove him to the side. We had a Miz TV segment. Kurt Angle comes out, and Miz makes the announcement that Owens and Zayn are now on Raw, which, Stephanie McMahon overruled Kurt Angle's decision last week that they both lost the match, so they both don't get jobs. But the Angle informs the Miz he's headed to Smackdown, but Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas will remain here. Thank God. I was getting sick of that ensemble. Put the Miz by himself. I don't understand, if the Miz is supposed to be a top-tier guy, why does he have two comedic goofballs with him? If the guy has an entourage, these guys get beat up all the time, they lose all their matches. Why would the Miz keep them around? It kind of doesn't even really make any sense. If they're supposed to be bodyguards, people watching his back, wouldn't he get two tougher guys, two taller guys? It would make more sense if the Miz hired the Authors of Pain, for example, those guys to watch his back, because they're two thick motherfuckers. That would make sense. But, instead, Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, I get it, these two guys are jobbers. He dressed them up a bit. They gave them a bit more pizzazz to them, but they still went on their losing ways, still following that. So you kind of have to look at it why would he keep him around? He's a champion. He's supposed to be the A-list. So why would the A-lister have the Z-listers with him? That's I guess that's supposed to be the joke. But, it was wearing thin after a while. So thank God they're getting rid of him. And now we're going to have a 10-man tag match. And Bobby Lashley's going to be there. And there's going to be a mystery tag part. So, okay. I'm just going to say this. From this point on, we've just talked about Bobby Lashley. You've acquired this former TNA star that everybody was clamoring to see. He's back. We haven't seen this guy in literally 10 years. More than 10 years. It's been 10 and a half, almost 11 years since the guy. It was late 2007 when Bobby Lashley left the WWE and ended up in TNA. So, you don't see this guy, not even in a backstage interview, all the way to the main event. The show is this is the second hour. We don't see to the very end of the third hour of the show. You go all that time and you don't even see Bobby Lashley. And they mention his name, so you're asking Bobby Lashley, this whole guy. Nope. Just going to save all that to the end. Strowman's in it too. Do we see him? Nope. I don't know what it is. Did Strowman do something to piss somebody off? From Elimination Chamber all the way to now, what happened? This guy got screwed over at Mania. We didn't see anything happen here to build off of all that momentum that Strowman had the previous year. And I'm seeing, we're talking about momentum. The guy might have lost in the chamber, but he eliminated everybody. And I know I said this quite a few times in my Mania rants and my Mania review and all the Raws leading up to WrestleMania. But it's true. It's like the way that they booked this guy is probably the most bizarre I've ever seen. You have this, and this is a guy that wasn't even on Mania last year. So you really wanted to make sure that this guy made his mark this year, and the most you could think to do is put him in some fucking half-ass tag match with with the referee's son. That is probably one of the most retarded things and decisions I've ever seen in WWE. I mean, you really want to see how clueless they are. You look at that booking decision, and you know just how fucking clueless this company could be. So, they're not doing any favors to Strowman now. He's just one face out of, 9 others in a fucking tag main event. Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt defeated the Revival. I noticed I forgot to write this down, but somewhere in here, I forget where it happened, Elias did an interview that was bizarre. He said that, he didn't feel like performing tonight. He starts performing for Renee, and she cuts off the interview. It's like, that was very uncreative once again. Again with Elias, like, it can't be that all these people are pissing off the office, because it's happening to so many of these people. Strowman, Jinder, Elias, I mean, all the most charismatic guys. I mean, it seems like almost all the guys that I like. Why is it all the schmucks that I hate on this roster? Why do they always get the best treatment? Why do they always seem like they get the spotlight? It's always the Enzo Amores who get screwed over. I start liking Neville. I like one of the smaller guys, and this guy's not even featured. I don't even know, is he even still under contract, Neville? And, the Enzo's name has been cleared, but I don't think they're going to bring him back. I mean, what a bunch of retired-ass bullshit. You have all these charismatic guys. See, this is the thing. This product could be really good because you've got a lot of good talent here. You've got Jinder. You've got all these other guys. It's just the way how they're booking them, they're all screwing up. So, Elias just has a little segment here. Again, no match at Mania. He's a guy that was featured prominently. He pinned Cena a few weeks before Mania, like a month before it, to qualify in the Chamber. His placement in the Chamber, anyway. And, here he is just in like a 2-minute backstage segment, like forgotten, irrelevant, nothing to add to the show or anything like that. Elias is not even in a feud, I guess is he still in a feud with Cena? Who the fuck knows? Anyway, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt team up to defeat the Revival in the Tag Team Eliminator. So I think this is it. They're going on to face the Bar. And I say give these guys the belts. Hey, I mean, like, this is an entertaining tag team. And Bray Wyatt looked like fired up in there. That guy looked like he had more fire than he's had in years. He was running around the ring like a maniac, and I don't know, better than the Revival. I kind of figured that they would go with them, especially after having Matt win the Battle Royal. The Fashion Police, Breezango was backstage. They made fun of Sheamus and Cesaro's attire, that's long overdue, guys. I don't know why it took the Fashion Police to take a crack at those outfits. I mean, for real. I like the way how they do look. It makes them look unique, but, for someone to make fun of them, it shouldn't have taken that long. I mean, they are wearing fucking kilts and, really weird-looking jackets, and, now you've got platinum highlights and Sheamus's mohawk. Like I said, I'm all for these unique looks and everything, especially when you've got a guy like Finn Balor who looks as plain as anybody could possibly look. He looks plainer than fucking white bread. I'm all for, if it takes a platinum mohawk, just go for it, so that, I I totally get if, you know, we want to set these people apart. Yes, Sheamus does look like a star. I've always said that. So, you know, but you have them backstage here. And I don't get it. Why are Sheamus and Cesaro just kind of taking this? Shouldn't they have, these are smaller guys. Shouldn't they have grabbed them and, like, thrown them into something? And just standing there, just taking it. This backstage segment, I mean, I don't know what it is, guys. Hey, you know, Ronda Rousey, I gave credit where credit was due. That was my favorite Mania match. That felt like an Attitude Era match. That felt like excitement. That felt like real entertainment. Well done match. You know, there was a couple of things here and there. Stephanie might have seemed like she got Rousey's number a few too many times. And the better finish was probably, you know, when Angle and Rousey both had their finishing moves on at the same time. Or, even better, when Rousey had Triple H in the fucking armbar. That should have been the end of it. But, you know, of course, you know, Triple H is not going to tap out to a girl, even though that would have really pushed their message of the women's equality thing. But they don't want to do that and really get the big pop from the... Anyway, guys. So, Rousey's been very awkward with ESPN. She's given some interviews. She's talked about quitting too much for someone that's supposed to inspire people. You know, she's really fucked up bad. So, well, here's another one to add to the list. So, you've got Angle and Rousey talking backstage about big things and everything like that. So, you know, the night after WrestleMania, they don't even talk. They just remember they had that tag match. Okay, so we're back to that again. So she's in the back, and, you know, he says that, you know, he's bringing somebody in. Natalya walks in. She smiles. No one's saying anything. Rousey's not saying anything. The camera's just on Natalya. Then the camera pans to Ronda. And then she starts smiling. And then she finally talks, and I'm like, there was a clear 10 seconds of silence going on there. What the fuck happened? It's almost like that clip was like edited in or something like that. And maybe it was. Maybe they had to do like 30 takes to just get this one boring segment put together. But I'm looking at this segment. I'm just saying it's bizarre. Why was the camera on Natalya for so long? Brad, it's just one segment. Get over it. Oh, fuck you. No, I'm not getting over it. It looked so weird and bizarre and so uncomforting. The smile from and Natalya is awkward. I will tell you guys. I have watched this girl. There is something very off about her when it comes to her promos. She's awkward as fuck. And Rousey might have her beat, but you know they find out that they've been training together, and you know I guess you know this is a way of take number 82 of trying to put Natalya over. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, guys, it's just this. Natalya's boring. It doesn't matter if she has the farting gimmick. It doesn't matter what... Why is she wearing the cat ears? I've already said this. If you're going to give her the cat gimmick, make her the crazy cat lady. Have her act really weird. I said play off of the fact that she's a bit awkward. Play off of the fact that, she's just not really the best in promos. Like, Natalya's good in the ring. She's got that Hart lineage going on. That's Jim Neidhart's daughter. That's all good and great. She's got the pedigree to her. But she doesn't have a good character at all. I mean, just I get this. Put her with Rousey and, just let her kind of ride Rosie's coattails. But it's really not working. Because even Rousey is having trouble. You don't have one of the more awkward wrestlers kind of, taking somebody else under their wing. I mean, this is why we need a better creative team, because you got to understand, this is probably still the same creative team that wrote for the farting gimmick. So when you got the same team that wrote the farting gimmick, they're just not going to come up with anything good. So, I don't know. Rousey and Natalya as a team, I don't really want to see this. I really rather see Ronda Rousey as a just like a one-girl show. She should just be by herself. She should be alone, or she should just have that attitude. You know, they're showing all those videos of her with the hoodie on and everything, and shadow boxing and all that. It should just be that Rousey just wants to be alone. She wants to be by herself. That, you know, nobody else could really help her. Because she just wants to be on her own. She don't trust anybody. That should be what is so hard to write for an MMA fighter? The caliber of Rousey. This shit should write itself. And I said stop having her go out there and make her so human already. It should be the exact opposite. We should view Rousey as superhuman. We should view her, you know, if you want to make her inspirational to little girls and everything, show her that she is tough. Show her that you don't have to be friends with everybody. Show that, you know, she just wants to kick ass and take names, and she does it effectively. So, you know, I don't know where they're going with the whole Natalya, but that was one hell of an awkward segment. What the fuck was the camera doing plastered on to Natalya's face for like several seconds there, and just panning to Rousey, and then they start talking. Bad editing, bad acting, bad whatever. It was just bad. You had Ember Moon defeating Mickie James. I like this little thing they did with Alexa Bliss where she wasn't out there. They kind of put her in. They kind of superimposed a video where she said she doesn't want to be out there with the bully like Nia. Trying to kind of flip the script a little bit where, you know, it's supposed to be like she was the bully. But I don't know. They really haven't effectively done anything with Bliss since losing the title. You know, Ember's out there. We still don't know a lot about Ember. They haven't told us anything about Ember. Oh, she's from NXT. Well, thanks for that. We already knew she was from NXT, but it's like we don't even know. She comes out there. She's the warrior god, the war goddess, whatever her name is. We don't know why she dresses like that, who she is. We haven't even heard her speak a freaking word. And you know, here she is. Just show her. Just show us this wrestler. We're supposed to immediately accept her, you know, just being there. She just a bit like, who is she? They don't build up to anybody. They don't tell you who anybody is. I'm kind of getting sick of this whole thing. I mean, this whole formulaic approach to introducing people, that they put no effort into any of these characters. She's the war goddess. Okay. So this is just a nickname, basically. We're just throwing it out there. It's like, you knew why Stone Cold was Stone Cold. You knew why The Rock was The Rock. And you knew why Triple H considered himself the Game. You kind of knew why these nicknames fit. They didn't just throw these nicknames together. And we knew each character. We knew what they were about. And here we're just kind of throwing them in the ring. She's got a nice finisher, and that's about it. She's the girl with the cool finisher. Aside from that, you know, who is Ember Moon? I don't think we even knew who she was in NXT. Dolph Ziggler comes out, and, you know, I'll never get this whole thing. He comes out, and it's like silence, and then they play his theme. And I don't know what that was even supposed to be. I guess it's a way of trying to set them apart in an ineffective way. Titus Worldwide comes out there offering Ziggler a job. You know, and the thing is, even Ziggler's approach to this, it's like, I don't even get this whole Titus Worldwide thing where they try to make like Titus something good. Why didn't Ziggler just tell him, you guys are goofballs. You don't win any matches. You're irrelevant. You know, why even bothering me? But whatever. He throws the card back at Titus, and Drew McIntyre arrives on the scene and beats the. You know, right off the bat, I gotta say, guys, this is Drew McIntyre. You want to make a splash. Why are they attacking Titus Worldwide of all things? Attacking jobbers. Like, this is Drew McIntyre. He's in the best shape of his life. I've said that this guy could have really been something, even when McMahon, you know, introduced him and said he was the chosen one. Right then and there, you know, they had the momentum. They could have catapulted that guy to the top, but for whatever reason, like what they always do, they pull back the reins. You know, you realize throughout the years how many times they have like no balls. They'll do something and then they don't have, you know, they don't have the know-how to see it through. They did this. They even did it with Vladimir Kozlov. Remember that guy, the original Rusev? They brought this guy out. He's going to be the Russian machine. He beats the Undertaker, a surprise pin. He pins the Undertaker clean. He reversed the old school, power slams him, gets the pin, and he wins the match. And, you know, this was going to be our next main eventer. And then after that, they just straight buried the motherfucker. And I'm saying to myself, you know, like, okay, so you gave this guy the win. You're not going to even follow up. And before we know it, he's tag teaming with Santino Marella. So there you go, guys. I mean, you just kind of see that they don't know how to see anything through. You know, they start with somebody and, you know, so, you know, here it is again. Jinder Mahal, I mean, you know, is another example right there. Same thing with Drew McIntyre, the 3MB guys, right? You know, they had these potential and then they just, you know, okay, so Jinder really didn't look that impressive as he does now. I get it. So now, here you have it. It's different with Drew. Drew, they put a pedigree on top of him right away. They said, this is McMahon's boy. McMahon's going to see it, that he's at the top because he's the chosen one. And before we knew it, McMahon's chosen one was jobbing out in no time. He was irrelevant on the roster. No titles, no main events. So it looked stupid. It also made the McMahon character look silly because here he is endorsing somebody and he's just some schlub on the roster. Anyway, I think it's a bit bizarre. They can't figure out what to do with Dolph once again, so they're teaming him with Drew. I mean, how hard is it? Ziggler should be a character that likes himself. He's super cocky. He thinks he's the best that there is. He thinks he's the best in the ring. He knows how to talk. He's got a look to him. He's, you know, one of the few guys that actually, you know, looks like somebody. So it shouldn't be that hard to write for somebody like that. But apparently it is, because it's apparently hard to write for anybody anymore. Because the only thing they know how to do is book matches now. It's the only fucking thing that they do. So here you go. Drew makes it, and Dolph, you know, they beat them up, and that's about it. Samoa Joe interrupts Roman Reigns' promo. He's cutting a promo on Lesnar. Lesnar's not there again. You know, here's a new deal. We just signed a new deal with Brock, and again he's not there. You know, another shit deal by McMahon. Like I said, it's not even like Brock Lesnar is that big of a draw for this company anymore. I mean, like, honestly, people say that he's a draw, but really, how many more people is he drawing? They have a niche audience. How many people are they really drawing to this product? Even when Brock shows up, the ratings really jump all that much? Oh, a couple of points? Okay. You know, a couple of quarter of points. It's not really that big of a deal. And here's the interesting thing about this promo. So we had a very mundane promo here, back and forth. Roman Reigns tells him to get his... I like that he you know, actually acknowledged that he's fat, telling him to get his fat ass in the ring and, you know, and prove it already. So he starts walking down to the ring and he says, on my time, and he starts going back the other way. And it's very interesting that Wade Keller says that Roman Reigns is boring on the mic. Oh, really, Wade? I mean, that's pretty funny there, Keller, because, you know, here you have Samoa Joe cutting the same fucking promo over and over again. He's cutting the same fucking thing over and over. You know, the same thing that he's been doing since 2002. Straightforward promo, stone face, no expression, no emotion. You know, he'll just do the same face even when he's yelling. You know, He never changes it up, never does anything different. It's boring as hell. He doesn't have any change in his words at all. You know, it's still the same vocabulary and everything. You know, he's been saying the same thing for years, and so this is, and those promos get praised. I mean, those are great promos, right? Right, Keller? Those are great promos. I mean, he's saying the same thing every single time he goes out, but those are great. Roman Reigns, you know, throws something out there, calls him a fat ass. You got angry. That's probably the whole thing. He probably got angry because, you know, Big Titty Joe over there, you know, big fat slob Mr. Twinkie over there, Samoa Joe, you know, he got called fat, so that probably hurt Keller's feelings about his boyfriend. So he, you know, he had to jump to it and start, oh, you suck, Reigns, just like all the other smarts. I mean, give me a fucking break. I mean, really, you know, there was nothing about this promo that was special, but it wasn't bad. And you had to go out of your way to say that Reigns is boring because, you know, so, you know, Joe accepts no responsibility, in other words. You're not going to say that this promo was boring due to the fact that Joe was the same act that he's been doing for over a decade and a half. You know, but no, Roman Reigns is solely to blame here. Of course, there's no bias there at all. You know, Mr. Wrestling Journalist over there, he's got no biases. Natalya defeats Mandy Rose, so, you know, they're on their own. Paige is not out there anymore. And, you know, they're losing again. Who says that Deville and Mandy Rose need to be a team? What is this garbage? Where the girls coming from NXT, does anybody come in by themselves anymore? Okay, Ember Moon. But besides that, you know, you've got Peyton Royce and the other one, Billy Kay, whatever the fuck her name is. Everybody is a team. They're all factions, teams, factions. I mean, it's the same thing. Remember when they started the Women's Revolution, we had Team Bad, we had, you know, Paige's Tap Out Team or whatever the hell they called it. You know, you always had these teams. It's always teams and everything. And I know we've got like a rumored women's tag division. Oh, God, please don't do that. But, I mean, everyone, they're all teams. So Rousey comes out to make the save for Natalya. She blows through Sonya Deville. And they even said, you know, the background of Sonya Deville. How come we don't explore the background of Sonya Deville? We know she's an MMA star. She looks like a star. You know, you could do something there. You could have had an interesting lead up. You know, you could have, you know, just had maybe Deville do a couple of shots to each other, and maybe she could have bailed out of the ring after that. But no, she just fucking knocks her out clean right there, and like, okay, so there goes the chance for you know, a viable opponent there for Ronda. You know, you've got a girl right there who could actually maybe, you know, give Ronda a little bit of a fight because she's got that MMA background. They could have played off of that. They could have shown clips leading up to a pay-per-view match between the two of them, showing clips of them in the MMA. But, no, blow that opportunity right there. You know, hey, we're friends, right? I mean, who cares about the relation? I mean, Rousey just got there, and they're already going to give her a lame friendship storyline with Natalya. Breezango defeated Cesaro and Sheamus. You had Tyler Breeze doing a roll-up on Cesaro. They got a quick surprise win. I don't know why they're doing this right before the tag title thing. You know, like I said, momentum doesn't matter to them. You know, it was interesting to see a little bit of a surprise victory, but I doubt that that's going to go anywhere because they've done stuff like this before numerous times. Then you've got your main event, and Bobby Roode was the mystery person. Okay, good, we're changing shows. But guys, it is time to get past this thing. So, you know, I'll get to it. So, Roode, Rollins, Blueberry Motherfucker, Finn Balor, Mr. Rainbow himself, along with Bobby Lashley and Strowman, defeated The Miz, Taraj, and Owens and Zayn. So, you know, once again, Owens and Zayn are on the losing team. They're here to make a big splash on Raw. They're already losing. Okay, great. Like I said, it doesn't matter it's all about having a great match battle, right? You know, it's all it's about. There's nothing else to it than that. Doesn't matter who wins or loses. It's just, you know, whatever at this point. So, you know, Bobby Roode can make an interesting appearance on Raw. He's just another guy in the 10-man tag. Bobby Lashley just got there last week, guys. He just fucking got there. And already he's just another man in the 10-man tag. He's nobody special. He's just a guy who used to work there. And he's back, and now he's just another person there. He doesn't even get the pin in this match. I mean, come on. You've got to be kidding me here. He doesn't even get the pinfall in the match. Okay, Strowman gets the pin here. Okay, so at least Strowman's doing something. I mean, but again, Strowman's supposed to be a monster, and here he is working together with all these other little schmucks like Seth Rollins and fuckboy Balor. I mean, come on, guys. Like, they can't figure out what to do with any of these guys. They gotta smush them all together in a fucking 10-man tag. And Bobby Roode, you know, he could make some interesting appearance during a promo or something like that, or, you know, they could do something to get him past this annoying, like, rut that he's in, where this whole glorious thing is, like, the only thing that's supposed to be appealing about him. You know, there's no effort being shown at all. I mean, what like a 10-man tag, just throw everybody in there. You've got all these people that still need character developing. We just reintroduced Bobby Lashley. Maybe a lot of these kids in the audience, they don't even know who the fuck he is. He's just some random dude who came back. Who is he? You know, explain to him. I mean, that's your audience, right? Smarks and kids. So, okay, so let's explain again. You know, let's make a bigger deal out of Bobby Lashley, just another man in there. And he, you know, Lashley barely did anything in this match, by the way. That's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, you know, he appeared last week, and then he's just, and like, why is he even teaming with these guys? What does he have to do with them? And also, shouldn't Elias be in this match, by the way? I mean, he did get attacked by Lashley. And he even mentions that in his promo briefly, but there's no follow-up to it. Oh, man, I mean, God, you know, I want to say that, like, this Raw wasn't boring. There was stuff happening here with the shake-up and all that. But, I mean, really, like, you even see, you don't even follow up what happened with Elias. That was one of your main segments. You know, to me, like I said, that was like the highlight of last week's Raw. And you don't even follow up that segment. So, I mean, that's pretty strange. I mean, you know, Elias, as big of a star as he is, he comes out there, he sits out there, talks to the crowd. He's not like a minor star on the roster. And you don't even want to follow up with that. It's like you feel it's not even necessary. Just move on. I mean, come on. Anyway, guys, you know, what more is there to say? I mean, we should be used to this by now. You know, you kind of see it's post-Mania. We might have a few different fresh matches now thanks to this shake-up, which is probably the best thing about it. I'd say, and the one thing I saw about this tonight is just end the brand split altogether. There was a reason why they ended it in the first place. I say we take that same reason and we do it again. Anyway, motherfuckers, this has been your Raw review, and this is your YWC champ with the belt around his waist, signing out.